trusted news source, ABC6 News at Noon.
Good afternoon. You're watching ABC6 News at Noon. I'm Tara Lanazak, live here at the Station Fire Memorial Park. Today marks a somber anniversary for loved ones, the state of Rhode Island, and the country, as it is the 20th anniversary of the Station nightclub fire. It was one of the deadliest nightclub fires in the U.S. and one of the biggest tragedies in Rhode Island. More than 100 lives lost and over 200 were severely injured. It has been 20 years since one of the deadliest club fires in American history.
Multiple victims. We're going to try to spread them between that facility and Rhode Island.
On February 20th, 2003, 100 people were killed and more than 200 injured as the Station nightclub burned to the ground. The fire was caused by pyrotechnics from an onstage lighting display by the band Great White. The pyrotechnics ignited the club walls and the ceiling. The venue was engulfed in flames in just 15 minutes. The station had highly flammable foam inside the club, no sprinklers, and not enough proper exits. 9 months after the tragedy, criminal charges were brought against the club owners, Michael and Jeff Derderian, and the band's tour manager, Daniel Beakley. The club owners claimed the foam inside the club was for soundproofing, and they did not know it was flammable packing foam. The band said they had permission to use fireworks on the stage that night. Beakley pleaded guilty to 100 counts, and the Derderians pleaded no contest to 100 counts. There was never a trial for the club owners, and civil lawsuits were settled out of court. In May 2017, the Station Memorial Park was open. The park features an archway with the victims' names and photographs etched into the stone. Thank you. I'm here with Gina Russo, and Gina is a survivor of the Station nightclub fire. Also, you were the charge of this beautiful memorial over here. Thank you so much for taking the time to join us, Gina. I've read your words. They're so powerful, too, in your book, Rise from the Ashes. You say that every year you feel grateful. Can you explain that to viewers who have lost a loved one, that are looking for that hope and looking for how to get by each day just like you are doing?
You just have to look at the big picture of this. I survived and 100 people didn't. So there's a purpose for that. And I need to make good on that. Someone trusted me to stay alive. And it's just so important to give back. To not get stuck in I am a victim, I've never called myself a victim. I want to be a survivor, and this was important for me to give back to the 100 who couldn't do this. But every day I am grateful that I've gotten this next chance. Every day is a great day. Yeah. Even if I think something bad might happen, it's okay. It's really okay. Yeah. Because I'm here with my family, my friends, and all of these wonderful people.
And I know, too, that this memorial, it means something more to you. It means to shed light on these survivors. And I know that you've built a community, too, with the survivors, and you've grown a love for them. Can you explain, too, what more change that you and other survivors would like to see in Rhode Island or across the country coming from the Station nightclub fire?
That we always pay attention to the fire exit, fire sprinklers, and that our government doesn't ever back down. Don't back down. I'm sorry that a business says they can't afford something. Yes. It's out of their realm. I will gladly pay an extra $1, $2, $3, $4, $5, as long as I know that building is safe, not for me, but for my children, my grandchildren. I need to know that people are safe. So that's really let's learn from this, never backslide from this, here, Rhode Island, and everywhere else in this state.
Also, too, I know that you've been such an inspiration for people who have lost loved ones, family members. I know that you lost your fiancé, Freddie. Mm-hmm. Can you explain to us who Freddie was? And he actually helped you survive that night.
He really did. Freddie was this larger-than-life person. He was a successful businessman. He is just so optimistic. I don't think I'd ever met anybody like him. Had he survived this, he would have been like, okay, it happened, now let's fix it. What are we going to do? It was so important for me to live well. He helped me get to that front door. I'm sure I would have never made it had he not pushed me and just screamed go. That's my last echo from him, and that's what I hear. And I'm here because he wanted me to be. and I live well for him, and I have to. His family has embraced me. They've never left my side. I've been very lucky.
Thank you so much, Gina, and we really appreciate your time, and we really appreciate your words. They're so moving.
Thank you.
Thank you.
For being here.
Thank you so much. I actually had the opportunity, going off of what me and Gina were talking about, how we want to see change in the state of Rhode Island. Well, I had the opportunity to sit down with the state fire marshal, Tim McLaughlin, and talk about the changes in the laws that have been made since 2003 and what else we can do. State Fire Marshal Timothy McLaughlin, a firefighter of 40 years, was working in Pawtucket at the time of the station nightclub fire. He remembers the night as if it was yesterday. McLaughlin was off from work, and he was home watching the 11 o'clock news when he found out the devastating tragedy happening in Warwick.
And I ended up getting a phone call from my brother, who his brother-in-law and his wife happened to be at that concert. So I went down to the scene with my brother, like every other family was there, hoping and praying that that they would find their loved ones alive. Unfortunately, that wasn't the case for 100 of them. And the things you saw, you know, everybody says you see a lot in this business, in the fire business, that most people don't see. If I had to go back again, I don't know if I would have went down there and saw what I saw.
McLaughlin lost 2 members of his extended family, saying this night will be ingrained in his memory forever. The fire opened eyes to larger problems in bars, nightclubs, and live music venues. Rhode Island made sweeping changes and put tougher building and safety codes in place.
When we did the Comprehensive Fire Act of 2003-2004, we made Rhode Island probably the legislature and the people that were involved at that point made Rhode Island probably the safest state in the nation. I think what they did during that time when they went through the code is I think they enhanced life safety throughout the state.
The new code went into place in 2004, adding new rules for sprinklers and alarms inside places of public entertainment and limiting occupancy. The station nightclub was grandfathered into an exception for laws requiring ceiling fire sprinklers, which changed after the tragedy.
They got rid of the grandfather clause, which I say was probably the big one. The grandfather clause, where the station nightclub probably fell under prior to, which really means there was no code. So you went back to 72, 68, and we only had a small book. It was the Rhode Island Fire Code. We didn't have a national code. We adopted NFPA, which is they're it in the fire safety world. So I think really thinking back on the positive note of what transpired, I think the changes that were made were all made for the good.
There has been vast progress since 2003, making sure nightclubs are compliant or they will face the consequences of being shut down.
But I think as time moved on and once people realized, listen, you can't put a price tag on a human life, right? So you want to run a business, this is how you have to run the business, right? And my motto in Pawtucket and my motto here is you're either compliant or you're not.
Rhode Island was the first state to enact new safety measures, with other states following suit. It could take years for every state to adopt these new laws that could save lives.
I mean, if you lived through it and you were here during it, and you happen to be like I was, or any of the other firefighters on the scene down there, or anybody, it's a short amount of money for, you know, to fix a problem that will save a life. You know, I think it's proven that if the station nightclub had sprinklers, we may be talking about something, but we wouldn't be sitting here talking about the 20th anniversary of 100 people dying. That's just the facts.
Welcome back. I'm here with Dave Kane. Dave, thank you so much for joining us today.
Well, thanks for inviting me.
Yeah, of course. Dave has been at the forefront of holding officials accountable and making it known about the station nightclub fire, making sure that no one forgets. Your son, Nicky, he was one of the youngest killed in the fire, and we were talking earlier about the signs that you have seen. His number was 41, and also the play that he wrote. Can you just tell our viewers about Nicky?
Well, Nicky was a wonderful kid. He still is. He's a writer, a composer, a singer, an actor, a comedian. A year before he passed, he wrote a play called They Walk Among Us. The play is about teenagers who die and come back as angels. That movie now is being made into a movie now, feature-length motion picture with John Land assisting, and the extended writing about the play. It's really terrific. He took 4 guitar lessons and wrote 50 songs. Tremendously talented boy.
Also, you said too in your powerful words, just like Gina, you two write so well, and talking about the memorial, saying that when people drive by, they should be reminded of how they can make change. What other changes would you like to see coming from this?
Well, for instance, we had a lot of draconian laws that were passed after the fire, laws that we didn't need. What we needed were elected and appointed safety officials who did their job properly, who didn't look the other way, who didn't get cajoled into doing something wrong. When that happens, people die.
Yes.
And I want people to come by here, talk to their children and their grandchildren and their great-grandchildren about who may be studying law. And someday they may be an AG and they'll have a chance to do something right. Or they may want to be in the fire service. And they might be a fire marshal one day. And this will remind them to do what's right.
Can you tell me as well, what have you learned from this, and what can you spread on to others who have lost a son, a daughter, and a loved one? How can they keep moving forward?
First of all, never acknowledge ever that they have actually been lost. I hate that word, lost.
Yeah.
You know, if you lost your car keys, would you go look for them?
Right.
You know, I mean, and we have to be open to our loved ones and know that they're not lost.
Mm-hmm.
Know that they're here. Talk to them, experience them. When you think you see something or hear something, acknowledge it, because they really are going to, just like you would not leave them, they're not leaving you.
Just like the signs you get with the number 41, that
Yeah.
was your son's number.
And many people have other signs too. License plates are another great way. You'll be driving and your Uncle, Fred's name will show up on a plate while you're thinking of him.
Right.
These are the things that people need to be open to. They're not your imagination. They're not your grief. They're your loved ones trying to comfort you.
Great. Thank you so much,
You're
Dave.
very
I really
welcome.
appreciate it.
Thank you for asking.
Thank you. Thanks. Also, if you would like to donate to the Station Fire Memorial Foundation, you can do so by logging on to www.thestationfirememorialfoundation.org/support or by mailing checks payable to the Station Fire Memorial Foundation to 78 Wilbur Avenue in Cranston, Rhode Island. Although today marks the 20th anniversary, a memorial service will be held later this year on May 21st, right here at the Station Memorial Park. Tara Lanazak reporting from West Warwick, and Casey Kantz will be back after this with more of your headlines.
We welcome you back to ABC6 News at Noon. I'm Casey Cantz with you now from our downtown Providence studios. More of today's headlines now. And our coverage continues today with President Biden in Ukraine, making a surprise visit a year into Russia's invasion of the country. The president greeted at the entrance of the presidential palace by Volodymyr Zelensky and his wife, Olena. In joint remarks, the president announced $500 million in new aid. It would include military equipment like artillery, ammunition, javelins, as well as other things. This marks a key point in the war, too. Russia is preparing for a spring offensive, while Ukraine is hoping to retake territory. More to come today at noon, including Nick. Going to have your forecast. That's coming up. Stay with us.
And now, your ABC6 Storm Tracker weather with meteorologist Nick Morganelli.
Good afternoon and welcome back to ABC 6 at noon. We've got temperatures that are pretty close to our high temperature for the day now, 57 in Providence, a little cooler with a south wind at the shoreline, westerly at 49, Newport 51, and there's a brightening in the overcast. And where do we stand so far this month? We had that one below normal day on Saturday after the very cold start to the month. And we're still above normal for temperatures today. We'll see where the numbers end up at the end of the day. Sunlight tracker will take you through the next couple of months, and we gain over 2 hours and 30 minutes of daylight, 2 hours and 42 minutes of daylight between now and April 20th. Looking very nice. Daylight savings time starts in just a few weeks. Here's our weather headlines now. Colder trend as the week progresses. We've got an icy wintry mix developing on Wednesday night and Thursday. And that's going to be, I think, impacting some of Rhode Island, probably not the south coast, but as you go inland and northward, you will find some wintry precipitation. There's an active jet stream pattern right now, too, and this is the jet stream now, and the Arctic air is locked up over the northern tier of the U.S., and we will have the jet stream taking a dip out west to create some colder weather there, and it dips a little bit here in the northeast, too, allowing just enough cold air to come in and suppresses the warmth over the southeastern U.S. They stay warm there, but it pushes the mild air just to the south of us. So that's the way it looks. And the forecast February 25th to March 1st, cold out west and cold in the northeast. And the warmest weather is found in the southeastern U.S. And as far as the satellite and radar goes, lots of clouds today. We had some brightening in the overcast. There's a little bit of a break right back here through eastern New York. So I think by the end of the day, we'll see at least some partial clearing into the early evening hours, but I think we'll still have a lot of clouds around during the overnight period. There's the satellite and radar. As we widen it out a little bit, you can see that jet stream flow right in here from southwest to northeast. And there's a lot of winter weather warnings and watches up over the Dakotas and portions west into the mountains out west. Futurecast for us, we'll take you through the afternoon, and we got that partial clearing, but this little system here, a little Alberta Clipper type system, slides through. So we might have a couple of showers here tomorrow during the day and during the evening. Just some periods of rain. We could get a little bit of snow early tomorrow morning, so keep that in mind. Allow yourself a little extra time in the morning. And then Wednesday, we have a sunny day. No problems there with high pressure and control. But the position of this high is important because it drains the cold air down into this system, and the warm air with this warm front is coming up. So as the cold air drains down and it clashes with the warm, you get this strip of ice in the middle and a low pressure system tracking right through southern New England with a band of ice right in here. And then it'll slide right through. So we're going to be watching for that on Wednesday night and Thursday. That's when we'll have, I think, some treacherous travel. 33 tonight, morning commute, snow showers possible, and then periods of light rain tomorrow, 42 degrees. And then we've got sunshine Wednesday before that system comes in Wednesday night and Thursday. Notice the cooler trend, too. 20s in the morning, 30s for afternoons as we go to Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So it gets colder, it gets a little more wintry looking out there too, Casey.
Brr. All right, Nick, thank you for that. Back with more ABC6 News at noon after the break. Welcome back to ABC6 News at noon today. I had to show you this today. Jason Tatum breaking the All-Star Game single game scoring record over the weekend. Tatum put up 55 points for Team Giannis in the win, coached by Johnston native Joe Mazzulla. Jaylen Brown on Team LeBron, coached by one-time Hendrick and Hawk Mike Malone. The Greek Freaks team taking the All-Star Game. Not much defense played traditionally. That's how it goes in Salt Lake City. Your final 184 to 175. Nick's back with one final check of the forecast. Next, stay with us. All right, one final check of that forecast. Nick Morganelli, what are you looking like?
Yeah, well, Casey, we'll take another look at the 7-day forecast. So we should get some sun at the end of the day today. We've had some brightening in the overcast. It's the mildest day of the week in the 50s today. Look at tomorrow. We've got perhaps a little bit of snow in the morning and then rain showers on and off throughout the day and into the evening. Wednesday's a dry, sunny day. And then Wednesday night and Thursday is when we have the icy times and probably some treacherous travel before a cold, dry weekend.
I know you'll be keeping an eye on that for us the rest of the week. Nick, thank you for that. Thank you, folks, for joining us today as well. The news continues first at 4. More coverage from West Warwick on this, the 20th anniversary of the station nightclub fire. For Tara Lynn Asack, I'm Casey Cants. Thanks for watching. Have a great rest of your afternoon.